Shares in cryptocurrency exchange Coinbase soared before falling back to earth on their first day of trading. Their initial surge reflects investor excitement over the company. It's the only major Bitcoin trading platform that's listed in the US. But its decline at the end of the first day of trading shows there's still plenty of skepticism over cryptocurrencies and their place in the financial world. Paolo Montecillo reports.
On its first day on the Nasdaq Stock Exchange, Coinbase saw its shares experience the wild swings that have come to define the assets it trades. Despite the volatility, the cryptocurrency exchange's market debut is seen as a coming out party for the entire virtual money sector.
There are those that thought that the whole thing was a bubble. It was nothing more than vacuous, magical, invisible internet money. This really represents a validation, particularly given that Coinbase, which is simply one of many, many exchanges, is being listed with a valuation greater than that of BP.
The company's market capitalization reached as high as $112 billion. That's after shares rose 12% to $429 each. It ended the session with shares down 14%, valuing the firm at $86 billion. In September, the company was worth just $6 billion. Coinbase is now bigger than the bourse on which it's listed. The Nasdaq is worth around $25 billion.
To believe in the pricing of Coinbase, investors really have to believe in a long-term future for cryptocurrency, given the size of this valuation relative to traditional exchanges, traditional stock exchanges like Intercontinental Exchange or Nasdaq or whatnot.
The bulk of Coinbase's revenues comes from the trading of Bitcoin and Ethereum, which are both near record highs. Over the past year, Bitcoin has rallied around 800% to more than $62,000 each. Ethereum has more than doubled in value to more than $2,400.
Blockchain technology and cryptocurrencies are here to stay. From now on, they'll form a central part of the currency mix. And secondly, the consumer is now in charge. That's what this demonstrates.
Coinbase recorded a nine-fold jump in revenues to $1.8 billion in the first quarter. The company expects to sustain that growth through the rest of the year, unless cryptocurrency prices crash. Paolo Montecillo, TRT World.
Well, for more on Coinbase's market debut, let's go to Jeffrey Tucker in Great Barrington, Massachusetts. He's the editorial director at the American Institute for Economic Research. Welcome back to the program, Jeffrey. Now, Coinbase's market value has eased back to about $65 billion. It soared to as much as $112 billion on the first day of trading. It's almost as volatile as the cryptocurrency market itself. Do you think that the hype surrounding the debut or listing of a cryptocurrency exchange was really worth all the hype?
Yes, it probably is, and it's only right that the Coinbase would be as volatile as Bitcoin itself. I mean, this is the space. If you can't stand the heat, get out of the kitchen. That's my view. This is a direct listing, not a regular IPO. So a little more volatility in the first day of trading would make perfect sense. I mean, one of the reasons for IPOs is to prevent this kind of price discovery that we saw happening over yesterday and today. But that's what you get with a direct listing. What makes possible a direct listing is basically market familiarity, popularity, and that allows for a more democratic means of going public. And so that's what they used, and this is the price you pay, a little more volatility. But I think it's going to settle down and most likely rise over time. Coinbase does have has the market sewn up, at least in the US, in terms of crypto intermediation.
And the rise of Coinbase really has tracked the popularity or the rise in popularity of cryptocurrencies more generally. Do you think that trend will continue to trend upwards, or is this more of a fad that we're seeing right now?
Well, much to my shock, I got interested in this stuff in 2012 because it was a peer-to-peer currency that didn't require financial intermediation. Well, guess what? The financial intermediaries are back and they're taking over the market. So, because Coinbase makes it easy. I mean, that's the answer. And they provide legal and heavily regulated on-ramps and off-ramps to crypto. The big, I guess you would say, fault or failing or problem in crypto from the beginning was getting in and out of it in terms of national currencies. Everybody all over the world knows that. What that does is it gives the regulators a chance to sink their teeth in, and because the market for these platforms like Coinbase is so restricted and so heavily regulated, there's not that many of them. So Coinbase has got it sewn up. They've jumped through all the regulatory hoops. They've got a virtual, I wouldn't say monopoly, but definitely a dominant market position. Everybody wants in crypto right now. People are flush with cash. That's one of the reasons the price is going as high as it is. The stimulus checks really helped young people to get out there and
Jeffrey,
buy crypto.
Can I just interrupt you there? Because I want to ask you quickly, because on the same day that Coinbase went public, it was interesting because US Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell actually described cryptocurrencies as vehicles for speculation. He said they're largely for making bets on price increases and that they really haven't reached the status of payment mechanisms. So again, we've got someone from a traditional financial institution or financial body pouring cold water over this, the hype around cryptocurrencies. Do you think that somewhere along the line, cryptocurrencies might face some trouble from regulators and central banks who might even clamp down on them?
They've been facing trouble of regulators and central banks since about 2000, I would say 10. So that's just the way it's going to go. And I'm sure Powell is a very smart man, but if he thinks there's no transactions in crypto, he can go to any website and watch them in real time. I mean, they're going on all the time. People are exchanging crypto all over the world. It's not a universal money. It's got a lot of moneyness in it, though, already, and it is being used for transaction. It's very expensive to use, but if you don't like paying the fees, there's a lot of other cryptos out there too. And don't forget that Coinbase deals in many alternatives to Bitcoin. So there's no stopping this market at this point.
Okay, Jeffrey Tucker, we'll have to leave it there. Pleasure to have you on as always. Thanks again.